self-care using the Transforming Schools framework. I loved it when I saw this book come out and thought, I love a lot of things, so maybe this book is going to sit on my shelf and not go anywhere. But I have given it to so many different people. So Sharon's offering the hard copy to you. Just send her the email and get some of these because it's good. And then the toolkit that goes along with it is going to give you links, active live links to things that we kind of thought really mattered in this whole thing, because at the core of all of our trauma sensitive schools is how's our ability to actually connect with kids and connect with staff to form some relationships that allow, for lack of a better word, healing and resilience in our kids. So self-care really is founded in relationships, like this says, and we have to just remember the number one relationship is that which we have with ourselves. And we sometimes don't have enough for ourselves, and we need to share in order to let our friends help us out. And I'm my name's Deb, by the way. I'm from Mat-Su, and I'm super glad to see some of my friends on here today. So welcome, Mat-Su folks, and Sitka folks, and Juneau, and Fairbanks, and everywhere you come from. Well, here with this. So this stress response, there's a lot of words there. Basically, it's like something happens and at the bottom, cortisol is triggered. But there's a lot of other things that happen in that half a second. It would take me a long time to read all this to you. You can look at it. You guys all basically know this stuff anyhow, but I'd like to take you on a quick journey, if you will. Imagine you're hiking and you're at mile number, fill in the blank, whatever it would be, where you're starting to feel your muscles go like, hey, it's time to turn around, let's go back. And then at that point, when you're already kind of tired, you go another mile. And then at that point, you trip and you catch yourself. But in that split second between the time you trip and the time you catch yourself, everything got turned on. Our stress response is kind of dysfunctional. It's kind of lame in the sense that it responds to small things that we imagine, maybe huge things that we imagine, in the same way, whether it's real in the moment or not. You know what I'm talking about? Give me a thumbs up if you know what I'm saying. Like, it turns on just because we thought about it sometimes, and then we worry about it or perseverate, and then we get into that stuck place where it becomes habitual, and then it turns on even easier. There's no such thing as turning on one part of our stress response and not the other. So when that happens, it triggers everything in our response system. So unfortunately, as functional as our systems are, they're a little dysfunctional and haven't caught up with the times that our imaginations take us on these wild rides that ultimately lead to disease. And we don't want that. So paying attention to when you are getting really triggered or stressed out is a huge factor. And the bottom line is, and Heather, we can go to the next slide here. The bottom line is, we know doctors are coming together kind of worldwide right now. Outside of COVID, even doctors are coming together to study things that are rapidly on the increase, like Alzheimer's and type 2 diabetes. So why am I talking about those two things? Because those are factors in self-care, and we have to do little things often in order to prevent big things later. And I mean big bad things later. And so what I love about the toolkit is that it ties back in to all of this prevention. Anything that we do that's good for our brain is also going to be good for our heart. When we eat good food, it's going to be good for our liver and our brain. So basic things done often, and you can take a choice. I'd love to have you just look at the 2-minute, the one under the 2 minutes, and say, what's something that you have committed already that you have in your practice of living that you do now? And just put it in the chat box. And while you're doing that, I'll say one of the things we're going to walk through later is a mindfulness exercise. Conrad talked in the beginning about just being present, being here. I just invite all of you to walk through that, despite the fact that it's really hard when we're on Zoom to not be distracted by things in our space. And I was looking at the chat box earlier. Ooh, nice. Read and quilt. I was looking at the chat box earlier for how people are doing out there, and there was a lot of dual, positive and negative. Like someone said, grateful and uncertain. Lots of people can relate to that. Someone said stressed and thankful. Someone else said confused and hopeful. Someone else said stressed and hopeful. So there's this dichotomy of good and bad that's really common right now and in our world. So I guess I just want to end this part with saying, oh, yay. John, I'm not surprised. Walking barefoot in the sand. Nice. So small things done often. Here's the bottom line. I want to tie this very important stuff into Alzheimer's prevention, since I'm doing a training in that right now. Drinking enough water, exercising, eating the right foods, and sleep. It's not rocket science. We have to kind of make our kids know that too, because in a world where they are confused about what to do and what not to do, bring it down to basics.